All right, if everybody migrate to the hill, we're going to start with the memorial service for Doug Koch, and then we'll be back in the tournament. We're just going to start momentarily with the service here.
Nope. I'm going to see if I can get it fixed. If I can't get it fixed, I'll try to jump next year. And if it doesn't go well, then I'll either one more try.
All right, everybody that doesn't know, I'm Cody Heller, and I am the president of the ABC. And in July, we had a wonderful ambassador of the sport, longtime team member, skier himself, and coach of the U.S. teams. He passed away, unexpectedly passed away, and with this being said, we found it necessary that we at Nationals to dedicate this new platform that the Minnesota Barefoot Club built here in his name, and we're going to dedicate it where there'll be a placard on it, hopefully allowing for future generations to be able to know Doug and ask about Doug and the important impact he had on our sport. With that being said, I'm just going to touch on the eulogy, and then we'll get into a few of us that would like to say a few thoughts. Douglas J. Cook, 62, a resident of Dalton, 10 Mile Lake, died Saturday, July 12, 2014. He was born June 27, 1952, in St. Paul to Fred and Helen Clark Cook. He graduated from Highland Park Senior High School in 1970 and attended college at Jamestown, receiving a Bachelor's of Science degree, major education in physics and German. On June 14, 1974, Doug was united in marriage to Pat Cook at Forest Chapel at Jamestown College. He taught in Maddox, North Dakota, and was a principal at Dakota School in Arthur, North Dakota. Doug and his family moved to Fergus Falls in 1983, where Doug owned and operated Doug's Frontier Amoco in Fergus Falls, and in 1990, Pat's Amoco in Alexandria. Doug also owned and operated Derrick Sports in Fergus Falls and in Battle Lake. More recently, Doug worked from for Lakes Country Service Cooperative until June 30th, 2014, when he retired. He was a member of the Rock Prairie Lutheran Church, served in the Fergus Falls School District 544 School Board for 17 years. He was past president of the Kiwanis Audit Advisors. He's also a member of the 10 Mile Lake Preservation Association, Upper Midwest Barefoot Water Ski Association, Minnesota Barefoot Club, and was past president and treasurer of the American Barefoot Club. He served as scorer and homologator. Doug was the tournament director for various local and state, regional, and national tournaments. He served as a manager for the U.S. teams in the World Barefoot Water Ski Tournaments in 2008, 2010, and was co-tournament director for the World Barefoot Water Ski Tournament in 1996 and 2000 that were held in Fergus Falls. Preceding him in death was his father, Fred. Doug is survived by his wife, Pat, of Dalton, son, Derek of Dalton, mother, Helen Cook of Barrett, sisters, Judith and Dick Conroy of Vasilian, Minnesota, Marilyn Straka of San Francisco, California, niece, Deb Conroy, nephews, Jeff Conroy, Rob Straka. He is also survived by many aunts and cousins. With this being said, a couple gentlemen to speak that have known the long-lasting legacy and importance of Doug's life on the sport. Start with Mr. Mike Shanky.
Well, Cody, doing the homework like you say to always do, you just read about 3 pages, which is great because you're going to shorten me up to about 30 seconds. Big breath here. Where do you begin? I was asked to put a little something down to say about Doug, as he was very close. It's going to be tough. All right, thanks. He was a very close and dear friend, as he is still a major influence in my life, how I go about things. Ow. And how to handle things in my life, the different aspects, opportunities, and important elements that I will face in life. Just a quick summary of Doug. We're not going to go through that because that's 3 pages of the eulogy that was just read. Born on June 27, 1952. Majored in science of education, physics, and German. Yeah, we're going to go past that too. Next page. He was a teacher and then a principal at Dakota School. Thanks, Cody. It was only after that Doug moved to his family to Fergus Falls. We're going to go past that too. He started a small monopoly in Fergus Falls, known as Doug's Frontier Amoco, Pat's Amoco, and Derrick Sports. We're going to go past that. You all got the idea there. Doug finally retired on June 30th from Lakes County Service Co-op. We went through that, and what a great 60-second birthday gift to himself. Finally given to himself. Keep going. President of the Kiwanis, Otter Risers. Member of the 10 Mile Lake Preservation Association. Let's keep going. It's a good thing I have about 8 pages here. Sorry for all this. Treasurer of the ABC, Director Score from Alligator from the National Worlds. He served as a manager for the U.S. teams in a World Barefoot tournament, and amongst all these incredible accolades surrounding our guy, he was always our friend, our teacher, and fearless leader. Doug always had time to sit, to listen, and to offer up what seemed like an endless book of great advice and a joke here and there. If you had enough time, Doug had enough stories and jokes and a big warm smile that were always accompanied by those big Papa Bear hugs. Everybody knows that. I just want to close on a very short saying here. Let's let Doug's energy and passion continue to grow throughout every one of your lives, and pass on that to every generation after ours, and make sure that you let them know how important that really is. Doug left us some big footprints that, wow, I don't know if we could ever fill, but we'll certainly go on. We'll try. We'll move forward. And then, and as Derek and Pat have recently reminded me, there isn't always a time for that last hug. So don't miss the opportunity when it's there. I'm going to close with that. As a good friend of Doug, Godspeed, rest in peace. And I'd like to introduce ABC past president, U.S. team coach, awesome friend, buddy, Lee Stone.
Thank you, Mike. And Cody, thank you for the opportunity to honor Doug today. When Cody first asked me if I wanted to speak at the commemoration, I thought to myself, what a great choice. Doug and I have been deeply involved with the ABC, managing and coaching the U.S. teams, dealing with personal internal struggles, and the list goes on and on. And I took a moment to reflect and then realized that most of the people here and most of the people that know Doug, probably feel the same way. And this is not a testament to me, but a testament to Doug and the character that he had and shared with all of us. As I began to prepare these comments, I wanted to be brief and yet provide enough flavor to earn the honor that Cody has offered me. And with that said, Doug did few things briefly. Even though Doug was not a Texan, he he could draw out an introduction and a story with the best of us. And my favorite example, I think, can be summarized with the greetings of the two Codys in Germany in 2010. Hey, Cody. When Doug said your name, he brought your history, common experiences, and his admiration for you, and the prelude that you were about to have another memorable experience. Doug loved to tell jokes and stories, as we've already heard, to share a laugh, help people understand life, and make fun of the Dallas Cowboys, which I really like because I'm not a Cowboy fan. And these jokes would brighten your day, diffuse pressured situations, and I got to witness this on numerous meetings, tournaments, and other daily discussions. It would not be appropriate at this time for me to tell you my favorite Doug Cook joke, but we'll gladly share it with you as long as you tell me one first. Douglas Joel Cook. The best description that I came up with for today's commemoration is love. I know that may seem strange coming from me, but hear me out. I'm not talking about the Hollywood love depicted in movies. I'm not talking about the giddy feeling when you think about the first time you met someone special or you performed your first tumble turn. I'm talking about the devoted, hardworking, goal-oriented actions for the people and activities which he committed himself to. Doug loved his family. I can only think of one or two times we spoke that he didn't share something his family was doing. He told these stories with pride that penetrated phone lines and left no doubt he loved his family. Doug was a committed husband, father, and son, cared for his mother, aunts, and I'm sure others that I don't know about. Pat and Derek were spoken of like a queen and a prince. The prince probably contributed some gray hair, but he loved them both as much as a person could. And no matter what happened in life, Doug always loved his family and worked to put things back on the right track or improve the situation. Doug loved barefooting. I first met Doug, Pat, and Derek in 2001. I was quite amazed to find all the roles that Doug played in hosting the Worlds and his activities in the ABC. We've already covered what he did. And while Derek skied, Doug immersed himself in contributing to improve the sport that we enjoy today. Doug loved all of us. He was a big man with a big heart, a big voice, a big laugh, and a big passion for everything that he did. Doug lived his life with arms wide open, a way of life that many of us can relate to but won't exercise. Doug welcomed everybody as his newest best friend, and in a tribute to Doug and an opportunity to console ourselves a bit, I'm going to ask us to take a moment and give the people around you a hug. That's a hug for Doug, a hug for other friends and families who have passed, and also a hug for Amber and her recovery. In conclusion, I'll ask you to remember Doug and the Cook family in your prayers. Live life to the fullest, and let your inner Doug Cook out and live with arms wide open. God bless Doug Joel Cook.
I thank you, Lee, very much. I appreciate that, and I'm truly honored to be standing up here with these two gentlemen today. They both have a lot longer experience with Doug than I do, but with that being said, he did leave a lasting legacy on our heart as well. I stand before you today merely as one person to represent the thousands of people that Doug has touched through barefooting. After Doug passed, on that Sunday, I received phone calls and emails from across the country and world. I could stand here for hours and discuss with you the stories that were shared on those phone calls about their time with Doug. Some of those too inappropriate. Doug has been involved with Barefoot for parts of 4 decades and serves every position possible on boards as coach, manager, organizer. I haven't known Doug for as long as many in attendance here today, but I've known him long enough for him and his family to leave a lasting impact on my family. He personally brought my 2 sisters, Elaine, Shannon, and I through the sport for the past 12 years. He was there to encourage us when we fell. We fall a lot, if you haven't noticed, and congratulate when we triumphed. He treated us like family, along with the countless other barefooters that the Cooks welcomed in their home over the past 25 years. Doug has been part of the U.S. contingency at the World Championships since 1992. He served as organizer, coach, manager. I believe that it is standard protocol that we share one Doug Cook story while we're up here. My most memorable Doug Cook moment was at the Worlds in Austin, Texas in 2012. Walking the starting dock, carrying my wetsuit and handle over my shoulder. And up comes this cloud of dust. Up pulls next to me Doug Cook on a dirt bike. A mini dirt bike. He leans over at me and he looks and says, "Cody, don't tell Pat or it'll cost half of everything I own." And off he goes in another cloud of dust. He wanted a motorcycle so bad, and that man drove that bike for 12 days. And he only took it over once.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, and Mom saw that?
Oh, yeah. Situations like this, on a serious note, bring so much hurt and pain to all of us, family and friends alike. This pain of the loss in this barefoot community cannot be fully healed today, tomorrow, or even in the coming weeks and years. The pain comes from the log that Doug shared with us, but there is good news. We do have relief from this pain. I knew Doug well enough to know that Doug was a Christian, and this brings me joy. We should rejoice in the fact that he is a Christian, and because of his faith, we can be certain he is now in heaven. We should rejoice That because now Doug is free from the earthly pains, struggles, hardship, and hurt, now is in eternal bliss. This very faith is what allows us to take the time today to celebrate his life. God truly has an amazing way of taking the trials and tribulations, top page, trials and tribulations we deal with in our lives and turn them into blessings. We may not know yet what these blessings are, but with this door closing, many new ones are open. One blessing that has already occurred is that we as a Barefoot community have pulled together stronger today than ever before to handle the struggles of Doug's passing. We all sometimes take each other for granted. This has already provided a reminder that we need not only our own families in our lives, but the support of our community and our Barefoot families. It is said that time heals all wounds. When you have lost someone very near to you in death, time at first seems to be the ultimate enemy, but in reality, as the saying does go, it truly is the ultimate healer. Recovery from great loss is not something that can be rushed. The Lord brings us strength in times like this, and then wraps his arms around us to protect and comfort us all. It's times like these, too, that we're reminded that we're not alone and that we are ultimately loved. This is the peace that helps us to carry on with our lives and become even stronger. The sport of barefooting has lost, in effect, one of its most influential people in history. Doug wanted nothing more than to use barefooting as a platform to open the hearts and minds of everyone he met, to use the sport to bring family and friends together, and to most importantly, bring his family together. It is clear today, standing here, that he truly accomplished his goal, that everyone here has been touched in some way by barefooting, and that he brought all of us, his extended family, together to celebrate his life. This, friends, is truly a blessing. I adamantly believe there is no better way than to honor the life of one of the most influential individuals in the sport of barefooting than to be able to commemorate his life with something that will be enjoyed by everyone that graces this site for some of barefooting's biggest moments in the years to come. We hope that this placard will allow for future skiers that never knew Doug to possibly ask about the importance of his life. This will, in effect, ensure that his life was never forgotten. Thank you.
Hey, y'all. Sorry to make this go a little bit longer, but they didn't ask me to say anything. But I'm Derek Koch. The son of the departed. This is a sad time, but I want everybody to just, if you're looking from where I'm looking, see all these people. This is what made him happy. This is what all y'all, everybody here, getting together as a family. I think that was most important to him. After his passing, I get to hear about, how many lives he touched, how important he was to the sport. And to be honest, we didn't know that. We didn't know any of that coming into it. He just loved being here for y'all. How many here, who's First Nationals here? Raise your hand. Anybody? First Nationals, you are the ones that he came here for. New skiers joining the family, okay? And I know everybody, it's sad, but I want to assure everyone he was happy, okay? He got to retire at the end of June, but he wasn't the type that wanted to be retired, okay? You know what I'm talking about. The guy has to take on a massive project in order to be happy. So retirement was something he wanted to do. He didn't want to be retired, though. Let's be honest about that. He was happy, okay? He got to do the things he wanted to do. He got to have the family, the Barefoot family that not many others outside of the sport understand, okay? He was happy. He got to retire. We got to... we went to a couple of concerts. We got to see what he wanted to. So be assured that in his passing, and not to say it again, but yeah, you know what? He loved you all, and he was content. He was a very happy man, and having all of y'all here was where he found his happiness. So thank you. Thank you for all your support. Keep going. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek.